All right, you guys. So these are my top 25 rankings and other receiving votes for week 20 in college football, the second to last week. So here we go. Here are my top 25. So number 1, I still have Indiana. They're 14-0, still undefeated. Number 2, I have Ole Miss. They are 13-1. They avenged their only loss of the year to Georgia. My number 3 is Miami. They're my number 3 team. They had an impressive double-digit win over Ohio State, the defending national champ. So they're 3. And my number 4 is Oregon. They have their best win of the year against Texas Tech, blowing them out, shutting them out. So Oregon's number 4. Number 5 is Georgia. They dropped 3 spots after barely losing to Ole Miss. That's Georgia's second loss, so they're number 5. They go down 3. 6, I have Ohio State. They also go down 3 spots from my number 3 to number 6 after having their second loss. Back-to-back losses for Ohio State. Michigan must have done something to them because they're winless ever since they beat Michigan. Michigan must have been their biggest goal this year. Number 7, I have Texas Tech. They fall 3 spots as well, from 4 to 7 after losing to Oregon. But Texas Tech still has a good resume. I mean, beat BYU twice, beat at Utah, at Houston, so they don't have a bad resume. 8, I have Texas at 10-3. They have a really good resume, beating Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Michigan, winning those 4 games. So I have Texas at 8. 9, I have BYU after winning their bowl game over Georgia Tech. BYU's 12-2. Their only loss came in number 7, Texas Tech. And 10, I have Alabama. They're 11-4. They go down 3 spots. They just get blown out to Indiana. I didn't really know where to put Alabama, but I feel like Alabama needs to be ahead of Oklahoma because they beat them better in the rematch than Oklahoma beat them. So I have Alabama 10. 11, I have Texas A&M. They're 11 at 11-2. 12, I have Oklahoma at 10-3, I believe. Oklahoma's 10-3. So I have Oklahoma 12. 13, I still have Notre Dame. That's where they're going to be. And their final ranking is 13. They have a ranked win over Navy, but that's their only ranked win is Navy because USC's not ranked anymore since they lost their bowl game in their 4th loss. So Notre Dame 13. 14, I have Utah. Utah's 14 at 11-2, blowing out Nebraska in their bowl game. 15, I have Houston. Houston finishes 10-3. They had an impressive bowl win over SEC LSU, beating them 38-35. They also have a decent win over Arizona, who's not ranked anymore because they lost their bowl game, but it's still a good win, and they also won at Arizona State. So I have Houston 15. 16, I have Virginia. They finished 11-3. They win their bowl game against an SEC opponent, Missouri. So Virginia 16. 17, I have Vanderbilt. They go down 3 spots after losing their bowl game to Iowa. So Vanderbilt finishes at 17. They also don't have a ranked win currently of teams who are ranked for me. Yep, so Vanderbilt 17. 18, I have Tulane. Tulane, I have 18. I mean, they have a pretty good resume. I mean, they beat a ranked North Texas team. They beat the ACC champion in Duke. They beat another Big Ten opponent in Northwestern. They won at Memphis. They beat a 9-win East Carolina team. So, and their only 2 of their losses were to the number 2 team, Ole Miss. So I have Tulane at 18. 19, I have James Madison at 19. They have a ranked win over Old Dominion. So I have James Madison at 19. 20, I have North Texas at 20. I finished at 12-2. They beat San Diego State, and they also beat a ranked Navy team. And yeah, North Texas finishes 12-2. 21, I have Navy. I have Navy at 21. They finished 11-2. They beat South Florida. They beat a Big 12 opponent, blowing them out in Cincinnati in their bowl game. So I have Navy at 21. 22, I have Old Dominion. They beat South Florida in their bowl game. And they had a tough battle with number 1 Indiana earlier in the year, only losing by 13 at Indiana, 27-14. So I have Old Dominion at 22, finishing 10-3. This is where it got hard for me now. All these teams, I basically just guessed. All these teams are 9-4 coming up. But 23, I have TCU. They finished 9-4. They had an impressive win in their bowl game over USC. And they also have a win at 15 Houston. And they also beat SMU as well by double digits. So those are 3 pretty decent wins for TCU. So they're 23. They have a 3-game winning streak. 24, I have Louisville at 24 because Louisville has a pretty good resume. I mean, they have 2 wins against playoff teams this year. They beat James Madison by 14, who's ranked 19. And they won at number 3 Miami, who's ranked 3 right now. They won at 3 Miami. Yes, they did lose to SMU, though, but all their other losses came down to the last play. So Louisville, though, they have 2 pretty good wins. Not many teams in the country can say they have 2 wins over playoff teams. So I have Louisville 24. They beat Toledo in their bowl game. And then 25, I have Iowa. Iowa beat Vanderbilt, who's 17. They beat them, so they have a ranked win. And all of their losses came down to 1 possession. They barely lost by 5 to number 1 Indiana. They barely lost by 2 to number 4 Oregon. They lost by 3, I think, or 2 to their rival Iowa State on the road. And they barely lost to USC, a game that they had control in, but lost by like 5 to at USC. If that game was at Iowa, they probably would have beaten USC. But yeah, I have Iowa 25. And then on my receiving votes, because every single team in my receiving votes from my last ranking lost. All 5 teams in my receiving votes lost, so all of them are out. So new teams are my receiving votes. So 26, I have Illinois. They finished 9-4. They beat Tennessee in their bowl game. 27, I believe, I have USC. So USC drops out of my top 25. They were 16 the last 2 weeks. Now they're 27 after losing to TCU. But USC did beat Michigan. And then 28, I have SMU. I have at 28. So SMU 28. They also beat number 3 Miami, and they also beat number 24 Louisville. And then they won their bowl game against Arizona, who was currently ranked, but now they're not ranked. But I have SMU at 28. And then 29, I have the ACC champion Duke finishing 9-5. They finished the season hot, beating Virginia in the ACC title game, and then beating Arizona State in their bowl game. And then they beat Wake Forest before that. So I have Duke at 29, and then 30, I have Wake Forest. Wake Forest finished the season 9-4, beating an SEC team, Mississippi State, in their bowl game. And Wake Forest also beat SMU this year. So, yeah, that is my rankings for this week, for week 20. So, top 30. So, there we go.